Hey everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious and Anonymous, and here I thought today was going to be a boring day. With me is Joey Pedras. You know him from his YouTube channel. You know him from his guest spots on here. He is also the admin of the Twin Peaks Universe Facebook group, which is nearing 40,000 people. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're getting close, but I heard you're getting close to a big landmark with yours.
Probably with the next day or two, we're going to be hitting 100,000 followers on Twin Peaks Worldwide, which is absolutely amazing.
That's incredible. Jeez.
So something is definitely happening at least in the Facebook world.
Yeah, Twin Peaks is hot in Facebook. People said Facebook is dead, but not for Twin Peaks fans.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So why is today not boring? Well, at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, a little message was dropped on Twitter X. Let's take a look and play it here for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, something is coming along for you to see and hear. And it will be coming along on June 5. Ladies and gentlemen, something is coming along.
Oh, it's playing again. I thought he was still going.
Extended version.
I thought it was still going. Yeah, so David Lynch came onto Twitter for the first time in years. And because usually he would drop that just solely on his YouTube channel if there was anything, right? Because it would be like the David Lynch Theater. And says on June 5, of course, when I did my YouTube announcement about this announcement, I said June 5th. And the first comment was like, it's June 5. And I was
June
like,
5.
All right. Well, June 5 it is. Now, you and I have talked ad nauseum about announcements being made for years.
Yes.
Good
and bad. Yep.
To the point where we basically just had to step away for a while and be like, you know what? When something is announced, we'll come back.
Unless it's from his mouth, that's it.
Right. However, we've been getting tidbits of news coming down the pike for a little bit now. Because if you remember or recall, just recently, Sabrina Sutherland has taken to the Topol Forum and all of a sudden unleashed a ton of truth nuggets that we've been all wanting to hear for years. And finally, they just all get, put in our lap out of nowhere.
Boom, 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 boom. Yep.
Like right in a row. And it was just kind of like, of course, that makes perfect sense. That lines up with everything we know.
To be fair, to give us a little bit of credit from all those announcement videos, we were pretty close. Like we weren't totally off. Like a lot of that stuff was in the air and was supposed to happen. It just didn't because of the pandemic. So I'll give us a little grace with those videos because we were in the ballpark for sure.
I would say we were about 80% correct.
Yeah.
Now, where we weren't correct, according to Sabrina, is that it was never Twin Peaks related.
Right.
Now, to ease on our part on that aspect, all of the actors that were posting wisteria plants were from Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks actors, yeah.
So it's not like we were just making that up out of whole cloth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, there were people in the industry who, may not be right at, Lynch's ear, but I figured what they were telling me based on their reputation, they would not be saying this if it wasn't somewhat true. Right. Now, who knows? Maybe what Unrecorded Night became in those scripts that got copyrighted, maybe it started like Audrey Goes to Hollywood became Mulholland Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know what the genesis was to what the final thing was.
Yeah, we'll probably never know.
Well, maybe if they do an update to the Lynch on Lynch book, maybe we'll hear something. So on June 5, I almost want to do my David Lynch voice right now.
I know it's hard not to.
Yeah. There's going to be an announcement. Now, the question, of course, is what is that announcement? There's all these rumors and speculations. I'm not even going to begin to say what I obviously I don't know. Nobody knows.
Right.
Let's talk about some of these things, whether we think that's true or not. Okay, just right off the bat, what do you think it is?
I think it's music. We know he's been working on music. I think even in that kind of interview, Sabrina said he's been working heavily on music. So I think it's a music video because he said hear and see. But maybe it's like, maybe he's going to announce a couple things. But I think I'm like definitely leaning more on the music side, like music video side. But who knows?
Is it true that he was working on an actual Jack Cruz album, like of the monkey singing? Are we gonna get like an Industrial Symphony #2 of like a monkey singing for an hour?
I wouldn't put that past him because he seemed to have a lot of fun with that, that monkey. So
okay, so
I actually own that vinyl too that they put out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's somewhere over there, but I have
it. I'm going to be even a little more pessimistic than what your choice is. It might be a couple things, to be honest, but I have a feeling that one of the announcements is going to be that there is an official release date for the upcoming Log Lady documentary. And he is a producer on it. And he is in it. Gotcha. And if you remember from their announcement, they're making 2 different versions of that documentary. There's going to be one for theatrical distribution and one for streaming. There will be a 2-hour version and a 6 to 8 hour version, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So
I can see that.
If it's that, I don't think it's just that. I think it would be that coupled with maybe an album or a music video. So do you think it has nothing to do with the anything with Netflix?
I mean, I don't. I feel like the Netflix stuff could be all red herrings too. I don't know. They could have been working on stuff the whole time, but I don't know. From what it sounded like, the Netflix stuff was pretty dead. But who knows? It's all shrouded in misdirection. So I honestly can't say with any.
It's not like they're gonna drop Snoots, the animated movie, on June 5, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would love that, but I don't.
I mean, Sabrina had to go out and actually do damage control because the hatred against Netflix was so big.
I know.
After those news stories started, and she kept saying like, "We're still working with them. We'd be happy to work with them." I mean, because the article is coupled with the social media. I put up a picture jokingly of David Lynch from the set of The Straight Story with the burning building behind him, and I said David Lynch showed up at the Netflix headquarters this morning, and that got like 1,200 likes within the hour.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it was all in good fun, folks. That kind of humor is all in good fun, but still, though, the anger is real because people want something new.
Do you think maybe a trailer for something?
It's
like
possible.
A Snoot World, like, hey, we actually came to an agreement. We already had this trailer in the can. Like, maybe if it's not even like artwork, maybe it's like principal art or something, and they drop.
I mean, honestly, me being a just a greedy Lynch fan, I hope he just has like 6 or 7 announcements, one after the other. We're bringing back Festival Disruption. We're on schedule to do Snoots. We're Unrecorded Night starts this fall. The album's dropping, and maybe just do like a year of Lynch where every month something new is going to pop off.
I wish. I don't think that'll happen, but I mean, I was planning on going to Festival Disruption when the pandemic happened.
Okay, let me throw this out for you. Is it possible? Because remember back in the day, well, maybe you don't because you were probably like 5 years old, but when DavidLynch.com came out, and
what year was that?
It was like 99, 2000-ish. Anyways,
Yeah, like 10,
I joke,
9,
I joke. But is it possible with the way things are going? I don't think it's this, but maybe I just want to put it out there into the air. Could David Lynch start his own streaming channel?
I think he should. I mean, that was one of the big things that I thought was interesting about the Tulpa forums and Sabrina answering questions is that they said they considered kickstarting like David Lynch movies. And I thought that was super interesting because I think if he can't get money to produce these things from these big networks or streamers, go to the audience, you know, maybe at that point they'll freely pitch in if it's David Lynch himself. So,
all right. Well, on that note, let me just that was an amazing segue right there. For those of you who don't know, myself and Josh Eisenstadt, who's a filmmaker and David Lynch expert, we are putting together 2 Twin Peaks inspired fan films. We have to say that obviously for legal reasons, but they are big and you know, with a lot of scope. We're putting together this crowdfunding right now to do 2 of them. One is his story is going to be the entire backstory of Teresa Banks. He was great friends with Pamela Gidley, and he's doing this film as a big tribute to her. Whereas my film, Black Rose, obviously there's some One-Eyed Jacks allusions there, but it's also a continuation to a film I made just a few years ago called Queen of Hearts, which if you've not seen and you're a big Twin Peaks fan, check it out. It's online. But we are at currently 5% of the goal with 48 days to go. So if you would like to help us out, throw in a buck or 2 or maybe a bit more, check us out on Indiegogo, Teresa with a T, and Black Rose, Twin Peaks fan films. So there it is, folks.
I already put in my backing, my dollars and cents.
Oh, I didn't see your name. I'll have to go back and look at that.
No, it should be there.
Okay. Anyway, guys, so check that out. Help us out. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel as well as Joey's YouTube channel, because without this David Lynch news, the algorithm just assumes our channels are dead.
Yeah.
And so
we're boxed in. We're boxed in.
We're boxed in, unfortunately. Even if we talk about other topics, only David Lynch and Twin Peaks stuff kind of gets out there. So when David Lynch dropped this news today, I literally screamed hallelujah. And we've actually jumped up like 30 subs in the last few hours, which is insane.
I know. I mean, I'm sure it's because my YouTube algorithm might be associating some previous videos with his name being kind of trending right now.
Right.
So
some people are saying it better not be just a music video. Someone else says, what about the straight story on Criterion? I don't think he would make this kind of announcement for a Criterion release. I really don't.
Although I will say I do see that coming because Wall-E was, they had the Criterion release of Wall-E. So now Criterion obviously has a relationship with Disney. So
it's coming. It's coming because they've just released the straight story in 4K over in France.
Right.
So it's only a matter of time it comes over here. Unless Disney themselves puts it out, it's going to go to the Criterion. I mean, they've been playing it nonstop on the Criterion channel.
I know. It's become that was the last one I watched, and it's become pretty popular. I know they've been doing screenings of it at like drive-ins, like out here too. It's gotten a lot more prevalent, I guess.
What about this idea that one of the interesting tidbits that Sabrina dropped out of nowhere was that in 2012 they were actually exploring making Ronnie Rocket again. Do we think that it's a Ronnie Rocket announcement? I personally don't, because I think she was saying that they were still kind of exploring new technology. I don't think that she would say that and then a couple weeks later saying, hey, we're making Ronnie Rocket.
I'm not betting on Ronnie Rocket unless, and I know people would get super upset about this, that Lynch has been just like sitting with some AI tools and making like an AI Ronnie Rocket movie or something, or a short using AI.
Do you know the amount of hate he would get if he dropped an AI film? Have you seen the AI hate that's on Twitter?
I could see him just doing like a short like that, or maybe do that for Snoot World. I don't know. but I feel like he would mess around with that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, anything's possible. I'm really hoping though it's a series of announcements and not just one thing.
Yeah,
Because
I hope so too.
I think it's been so long that he very well could potentially have 6 or 7 announcements, one after the other. But I will say this though, Joey, before you throw in your 2 cents in. I do think that Sabrina going on the Tulpa forum was not an accident. That was
Absolutely not.
It was a coordinated thing. And that's not saying it was like some scandalous thing. I think it was David Lynch looked at Sabrina and said, "It's time." And they dropped all the truth nuggets right there, because they've been holding it on for holding all that in for so long that when I read that, I was like, something is happening. If she was just one. I mean, it wasn't just like, oh, well, people were nice and kind and asked nice questions. Yes, that's part of it. They asked politely. They were not intrusive. That all worked in their favor,
God.
right? And it all worked. It all worked in their favor. That being said, that's not the first time that people have asked nice questions in that direction, and they flat out have looked the other way or said nothing. So there's a reason why she went on there at that time and went one after the other. And I think it was to prime us as to what's coming.
Yeah. I mean, I work in marketing. From a marketing perspective, this is like shooting fish in a barrel kind of thing. You start giving all these things, you get the mill running again. Then you start getting David Lynch's name combined with Netflix and all these articles named Netflix, it all creates a wave, especially on the internet. This is how you do that kind of viral guerrilla marketing kind of thing. She knew, all the big trades would pick up this story just from talking in a forum, because people are paying attention. They have been paying attention. So I think it's all really good marketing to set up.
Well, that's what I said on the Tulpa forum video that I did about it. I said, you guys are about to hit the big time, because she not only just said, yeah, we're thinking about making this and that, like, and other trades could just ignore it. She dropped so many like things that like I was like going, People Magazine is going to talk about this.
Hollywood Reporter, Variety. I think Variety had an article.
Absolutely. I said, you guys are officially on the board in a way, no offense, people, in a way that the Dugpa forum never quite got there, because, and that's not a knock against them. I'm just saying, like, they were on there for years. And yes, there was the news about season 3, but Sabrina Sutherland never went on the Dugpa forum and answered questions. Yeah. Right. So it was just a message board.
For some more nerdy marketing things, them having links on major publications to that forum, fantastic for the website. Like their numbers are probably skyrocketing. Good for them. Congrats.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, and I say this, and I like saying this, knowing that I do not know who runs that forum. So it's not like we're like propping up friends of ours.
No, I have no idea.
I have no idea. But congrats, as I've said, congratulations. And again, I want to make it very clear, that's not a knock against the Dugpa forum at all. That's just saying that like that forum was around for a long time, and with the exception of people sharing pictures and stuff like that of like when season 3 was being made, it never like, Entertainment Weekly wasn't quoting from it for their articles. The Tulpa forum
is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. The Tulpa forum now is like a legitimate news site. And then Sabrina went back on and answered more questions, and not in a Q&A thing. She just found whatever scraps of questions that were left, and she dropped even more nuggets of truth. That's my word of the day, my phrase of the day. Nuggets of truth, I think. Maybe we should call this video that. But it's Mark in the chat says the Tulpa forum is greater than CNN. Well, when it comes to Twin Peaks and David Lynch news, you are probably correct. Now, a lot of people they keep saying this is going to be a music video. It's going to be a music video. It very well could be.
I'm on the higher end of the spectrum thinking it's going to be the music, since it seems like, especially in that forum, she made it seem like that was what he's been working on heavily, and the paintings.
And she also suggested that she wants to put together a sort of a song or poetry book with a lot of his lyrics and poems and stuff. That's amazing. Could it be that he's finally going to announce his official Fire Walk With Me director's cut?
No. If it is, I'd be shocked, but that's like low on the list for me at this point.
And he's not coming out to announce the official 4K Criterion of Twin Peaks.
I don't know. I can't see that.
No, because Blue Velvet got a 4K, right? I mean, they've been going through their catalog and putting their Lynch catalog back on, in print in 4K. He's never come out and made announcements about this. The only time he's ever made an announcement about physical media is when he attacked Kino Lorber for putting out Lost Highway.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I bought that version.
Well, so did I, and I never opened it because again there was no extras. I'd seen the movie, blah blah blah, and then obviously when I knew it, Criterion was eventually going to get it, and then they put it out in 4K. I was like, all right,
yeah,
but
no.
Yeah, so he's not coming out to do a physical media release announcement. This is either music video, album and music video, right? Some sort of project he's working on or film project he's about to do. I think if there is something about a festival disruption or something like that, it's not the sole announcement.
Yeah, no.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think it's one announcement or do you think it's like 2 or 3 all together?
I'm inclined to think he's not going to show his whole hand. And I think maybe strategically it might be better to just like trickle things out. So it might be one thing. And then like maybe down the summer, we get another something that he's working on. I think it's music for the summer. And then I think we get something later on in the year. Because
Sabrina dropping all those nuggets of truth on the Topa forum was not just priming us for an album.
Yeah. There's stuff happening. Stuff happening for sure. And there's been stuff happening. Now we know for sure there's been stuff happening this whole time. Just everything's gotten kind of murky.
It's not like he was sitting on his behind making a table and then, and then
a urinal.
And then as divorce gets announced and all of a sudden now he's just going to get busy again. Like, no, he's been busy this whole time.
Yeah.
It's just that, life has gotten in the way.
Of course.
And the world has gotten in a way.
I put music first, and then everything else I think is coming a little bit later. But
I don't doubt that. Here's my question: do you think on June 5, do we get an announcement, or do we have something drop? Does the album drop on June 5?
So what did he say exactly? He said
he says we are going to see and hear.
And he said something is coming this way or something like that.
Shall I play it again?
Yeah, maybe we need a replay for people that are just coming in now. Right. I'm sure everybody's seen it, but he's pretty intentional, but he also can be kind of a jokester. So,
absolutely.
Don't want to read too much into it, but I already saw the Reddit. People were like, yeah, that date, if you add it together, equals 10, number of completion, all this.
Well, that's because Fake Colossal came out there with that post. It's hilarious when people. I love that people like can do that because I just.
It's not where my brain goes.
No, it's not where my brain goes. But I'm so happy that someone's brain goes there, so I don't have to think about it. This was. Yeah, to engage in some frivolous Lynch-like numerological considerations, 6/5/2024 adds to 19, which adds to 10, which per Lynch in The Return is the number of completion. I do think, though, the date is not an accident.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, what is 6? What is that? That's next Wednesday?
Yeah, because
why a Wednesday?
Well, usually it's like Tuesday 9 a.m. is when you drop, something or so yeah, a random Wednesday that day was chosen for I think that particular reason. Has to be. It's not a coincidence that it does that, right?
Yeah. No. I think he would do that. Like he wouldn't do that. He would be like, "Oh, that's that day equals 10. Let's do that."
Frank is in the chat, says Ronnie Rocket, the petition starts here.
I mean, I'm down for Ronnie Rocket if it's Ronnie Rocket. I want to be completely wrong. I mean, I'll take more music too, but I think it's music, but I'll obviously take whatever else.
That's the thing. What people don't understand is like when I throw out like speculations, I'll be happy whatever he releases. I just, I'm trying to put all my positive thoughts out there that, maybe he'll catch a few more big fish ideas out there. Oh, that sounds good too.
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't, if it is just music and people are looking forward to like a new movie or a new series, I wouldn't get too discouraged because we know now that all that stuff is in the ether. It's like in the works. Sabrina's trying to make something happen. There's deals that have to be made. So I wouldn't get too discouraged that it's not happening because now we know that stuff was in the running, is still in the running. So,
all right, here we go. Let's play it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, something is coming along for you to see and hear. And it will be coming along on June 5.
Coming along. That's the phrase I was thinking.
Ladies and
but it's gonna be coming along. Is that an announcement or is that?
It seems like he's gonna drop something.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be like Beyonce and just drop the album.
Yeah, it's coming along, and it will come along on this day.
Right.
So something he's been working on is going to come on this, like, be delivered on this day. That's how I take it. But
so clear your Wednesday schedule, folks, because
I know.
And honestly, if it was something, I say this in lowercase, if it was something stupid, I don't think that he would make this video knowing what's going to happen. Right? I mean, it's not going to be, I can't see him just saying like, there's going to be a new art exhibit, you don't make a video like that and just have it be like, we're going to be showing some paintings in Paris.
I mean, maybe, but the see and hear could be an exhibit with the new music somewhere. I mean, it's so abstract, of course, but now that we know he's been working on music, that's why I just think music. But
one of my favorite comments of the day so far has been somebody saying, are we going to get all his weather reports on Blu-ray? I was like,
Criterion releases the weather reports.
But have you noticed one thing that nobody's commented on? He's doing this video at like 4:30 in the morning. There's no sunlight there. And all of his weather reports were always at, whatever it was, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. It is still dark outside.
Yeah, you could see like the palm trees or whatever in the background, like the silhouette. I don't know. I think he's so intentional. I don't know. Like, it could all mean something. It could be unrecorded night. Like, we could get really loose with it and go.
Right. I mean, Loft said that he recorded this at 4:30, 4:30.
I mean,
listen, he's so superstitious. I wouldn't put it past that. To record it at 4:30 in the morning and have it be the number of completion. That's like just putting it all together.
Yeah. Part of me wants to be cynical and say, no, there's no way he does that. It's silly. Like, we're all just being silly. But then also, we've been studying his stuff for so long. It's not that crazy either. But it's just fun. It's fun either way.
I don't think we're crazy because I think in 1986, 87, David Lynch, maybe there's a sprinkling of here and there, but there was no social media, so he wasn't able to do this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But he's become more intentional the older he gets because him and Sabrina, they've learned how to craft their image. Like I've always said, David Lynch is David Lynch, right? This is who he is. But when he goes on camera, he knows how to be David Lynch.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, like I'm sure that if you're having dinner with David Lynch, he is who he is. But you are a different person, just a little bit, when you turn that camera on.
Absolutely.
Your personality gets a little heightened.
You need people to pay attention, or else why bother doing it?
Exactly. So Yeah, I don't know really what else to add to this conversation because we've done like 2 or 3 hour long speculations about Wisteria and Unrecorded Night, and then it's just gone nowhere. But
again, I don't regret those because again, we were pretty close.
right. But one thing that Sabrina did say about that, which I loved, and I kind of figured it would be, was that the title was Unrecorded Night and not Wisteria. Because if you go through the bulk of David Lynch's work, film work, television work, it's all 2-word titles for the most part, right? Even though Eraserhead is 1 word, it's still 2. An Elephant Man, Blue Velvet, right? Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, Hotel Room, Straight Story, Inland Empire, right? So for him to just be like Wisteria, it's like, no, the last time you did like a 1-word thing, it was like Dune, and that didn't work out.
It's not yours either, yeah.
Right. So
I mean, neither was Wild at Heart, but I digress.
Well, that's
3
3 words, and
right.
That's why I didn't mention it. But thanks for ruining my streak there.
I'm just trying to clarify.
So, if any of you have any comments, questions, like this is a rare thing. One, Joey and I are recording midday on a Monday. What? So throw out any comments, questions. Let's have a little conversation. Let's fill out this hour.
Yeah.
And because this is a joy. I said to Joey, I said, listen, this is we got to do something here. We can't just let this news go. Because this is what I live for. This is what my YouTube channel lives for.
Same. We have to take the opportunities when they come.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, exciting either way.
Very much so. Very much so. A movie watcher says there are still quite a few people associated with Lynch who have Unrecorded Night listed as upcoming on their IMDb page. Well, Sabrina did not say they were done with it. They said if if the opportunity presented itself, they would do it. It's not a dead project. It's on, as you and I did a video about, it was the pause of Unrecorded Night. It wasn't the end of Unrecorded Night. It was like they were hitting a pause button and seeing, where they were.
Yeah,
Peter Deming has actually gone on a video podcast with Mary Sweeney and confirmed that he is the cinematographer on Unrecorded Night. And he was in deep pre-production. I mean, like I think they were only less than a month away, maybe even sooner than that, from actually shooting.
That's what it seemed like. And then there was a whole thing of him posting pictures from North Bend and Snoqualmie.
Well, that certainly didn't help.
Ago.
That certainly didn't help. That Peter Deming conveniently was at these locations during every season, and that made me think, oh, are they going to be showing the Twin Peaks world throughout different times, getting all the establishing shots? That's what they did with season 1. They went up and shot all those establishing shots of the double R and all that kind of thing at different times. And one thing that I didn't know was that the cinematographer Frank Byers, when he was up there shooting those establishing shots for the other episodes, that David Lynch would have a monitor where he was on the set of Wild at Heart and telling them, frame it a little more to the left, frame it a little more higher up. So he was directing the establishing shots of these places from the set of Wild at Heart.
Wow. Okay.
That's amazing.
I love that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. So Unrecorded Night, I know Sabrina said it's not Twin Peaks, but I'm inclined to believe it's still Twin Peaks adjacent.
Well, absolutely, because even if you look at something like Blue Velvet, right? There's the drapes behind Isabella Rossellini. Eraserhead had the chevron floor.
I mean, even closer to that. I mean, like, we've talked about the end of The Return before. That last episode felt like a different TV show. Sure. I still think it has something to do with that, but I could be wrong.
I've actually made peace with that last episode. And while I totally do agree, it does feel like the start of a new thing. I have kind of, at least in my own mind, figured out how it all ties together, which I'll save that for another video. I do want to say one other thing. Just YouTuber to YouTuber in the Twin Peaks universe. So I put up a video earlier today of an observance of Candy, Mandy, and Sandy, and how they were not supposed to be introduced until part 10 of season 3, but they show up for one scene in part 5, and they were never in that scene in part 5. They were inserted in the background for the cutaway shots, but they're not technically in that scene. And so I made a video showing how they took shots from part 10 and put them in part 5 and just reverse certain shots to make it look like they were in that scene when they weren't. Well, the copyright holders of Showtime Paramount, I had to go through so many hoops to even get that video on YouTube. I tried putting the footage in black and white. I tried reversing it. Nope, wouldn't go. I tried putting it into a TV screen so that it would, be another image altogether. Nope, wouldn't let go. I mean, it was being blocked and banned across the world over. So I basically had to go in and pop in different imagery every 15, 20 seconds just to appease them. And finally they lowered the the bar, and they said, okay, we'll let you in this one time. And that kind of throws me, because I really want to do something of season 3. I really want to do a season 3 breakdown now that it's been 7 years after, and the only thing on my channel about season 3 are all the things we did at the time, which of course was in the moment and not looking back on it. So I would love to do sort of a season 3 episode by episode breakdown. But if they won't even let me use any footage longer than 8 seconds, that's going to be downright near impossible or extremely irritating for the viewer,
So, keep cutting interstitial stuff.
I would have to cut it like a Michael Bay film just to throw off their
half-second shots. Yeah.
So that's upsetting. But anyway, but for giggles, go check out the video I uploaded earlier today of Candy, Mandy, and Sandy. And I think the point is still able to be observed, but my goodness, it took me 7 tries to get that thing on YouTube. So, and I thought maybe since it's 2024, they would have gone a little more lenient, because there are people who have uploaded whole scenes of seasons 1 and 2 on YouTube, and they don't have any issues.
The AI is smarter. It'll just clamp down on anything.
Nope. Unbelievable. So any other comments or questions? Or Joey and I are just going to start talking
about. We'll start making crazy theories, and we know how much people love that.
Oh, they do love
crazy speculation.
The more insane we get, the better. And then we get ridiculed on social media about it.
That's my favorite part.
Can you believe what they said? They actually think that David Lynch is sitting in his house making music videos with wooden spoons.
That's my favorite. It's just bury the lead and just go super crazy.
We've done that before many, many times. And it's hilarious when they're like, can you believe what they're saying? It's yes, it's called humor. It's called a joke.
I know. And sarcasm is sometimes.
There's a lot of funny people out there in the Twin Peaks universe, and there's a lot of people who don't understand humor either.
I know. Well, I think everybody here for the most part is okay, but there's definitely been some people that don't get it.
And we're not just talking just randos here. I mean, like I said, Joey runs the Twin Peaks universe nearing 40,000. I run Twin Peaks Worldwide on Facebook. We're nearing 100,000 this week. Actually, we're going to hit 100,000 this week. So we don't just understand it from just an observance. We actually have to deal with it because people message us privately, and some of these people are interesting.
Interesting is the correct word.
That's the nicest word I can say online and not get hit with the algorithm here.
Most of the time, very lovely people, you know. But every once in a while, you get somebody and you're like, I don't know what to do here.
I have a theory on that.
I'm not the help you seek.
Yeah, my theory on that is because David Lynch deals with dream states and surrealism, at least as of late. You get the you get people who
like the more holistic believer, spiritual.
Well, no, but you do get people who feel like that he's tapping into some sort of mental state that they might have. You know what I mean? Whether they use substances or not, I don't know. But anyway, it's just there are some interesting people out there, and but we love them all.
What's the over under? Here's the what on it being a David Lynch hologram that you could buy and put in your home, and he's like an AI assistant for you.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Like, don't forget to do your laundry tonight, Joanne.
If I could have David Lynch, a hologram of him in my kitchen while I'm making quinoa at the same time,
He just guides you through it a lot like that video. There's frog moth sound effects in the background.
I would love to have a hologram of him on a gun range and have him say like, "Tidbit, you're going to shoot yourself in the crotch."
I don't think that's too far off anyway with how quickly this AI stuff is evolving. You'll probably be able to get like an AI personal assistant that sounds like David Lynch.
Frank says, "Can you still use pics?" Pics about
what? I think he means in the videos stills like for the Sandy Mandy candy.
Yeah, you can still use I think so, but the problem was I had to show these images move because I had to show that they were reverse shots and things like that. Brett says, "Do you think David is still not traveling?" I obviously I don't know because I don't I don't have cameras outside of his house. I will say that people who I know who that are aware of his kind of what his life is like, doesn't sound like he goes very far.
I mean, I know he went to I forget what that exhibit was called, Flies in the Mud or something that they did in New York, I think last year.
See, I think that's different. I think that's different. I think if it's like New York or Paris, I think you can get him there better than the neighborhood grocery store.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't want to go there either, so I don't blame him.
But I don't think he doesn't go to the neighborhood grocery store because he doesn't want to be recognized. I just don't think he likes being within, a mile or two of his house. I think if he's going to go out, he wants to go somewhere.
Yeah, I completely get that. I'm kind of the same way. I feel that.
But I have talked with people who said that when they walk their dog, like around his neighborhood. And occasionally he'll just be staying outside, just hanging out. So, no, he doesn't smoke anymore.
Oh, right, because of the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, but he's still hanging out outside of his house apparently. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's his house.
Well, yes, but he's got 3 amazing houses, right?
Oh yeah, right, back to back, yeah.
And then they share all one big backyard, and that's where they filmed Rabbits.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
But apparently, even though he owned that big backyard, him shooting rabbits caused such a commotion that like people were phoning the police because he had those spotlights on that on that set.
That's funny.
Yeah. What are some actors we'd like to see in a new Lynchian film? I mean, I'd like to. He knows how to cast, so I mean, but I do think that Kyle doing Mr. C probably opened a few more doors for David that maybe he never considered Kyle for. Like for instance, he cast Nicolas Cage as Sailor Ripley, right? And it's like, did he ever for one second think of Kyle MacLachlan as Sailor Ripley? Probably not. Because Kyle in 86 to 89 does not exhibit.
He was still pretty boy type, yeah.
Right. He was like kind of the Hardy Boy type, Boy Scout type of thing, which is what David Lynch needed for those projects. Now, if David Lynch was making Wild at Heart today, you could potentially see Kyle doing a Sailor Ripley.
I want to know what David Lynch thinks of Kyle's TikTok account.
Okay, you want to talk about somebody like Sabrina and David. Kyle is someone who has mastered social media.
He's whoever his social media people are, and him killing it. Amazing. I think that one he did of him in the hot dog costume has like 10 million hits or something. He's people don't even like the younger kids don't know him from anything. They're like, oh yeah, from TikTok.
Right.
Kyle from TikTok. And then
Right.
they're like, oh yeah, he was in Twin Peaks. What's Twin Peaks? Boom. Then you have new Twin Peaks fans.
But I think that if he was just an actor, I don't know if he would be doing this. I think this is also, yes, he's doing a promotion for his acting gigs, yes. But where this really comes in handy is for his wine.
Yeah.
And even though his TikToks are silly and weird, he's created a brand for himself where he's no longer that guy from Showgirls or Sex and the City or Desperate Housewives or Twin Peaks. He's
Kyle MacLachlan. Yeah,
he's Kyle MacLachlan.
He's like an influencer now. He's bigger. Honestly, I would argue he's bigger now than he ever was with this kind of following.
Right. And I think that, I think he always knew who he was. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think what I find so interesting is that since season 3 has come out, maybe a little bit before, but definitely since season 3 has come out, he seems like he's 100% comfortable inside his body. Like, not that he didn't seem like before, but maybe because social media wasn't what it was, but like he always seemed kind of private and guarded. And now it's kind of like he's really letting his freak flag fly.
Yes.
And in a way, it's like if social media had been around in the early 90s or mid 90s, he would be a million times more popular than he is right now. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, more popular then than he is now, I think. I mean, he might have been more of a big movie star if it was around then, but now, he's kicking ass on social media. If he had it then and he had this energy back then, especially if social media existed in like the 90s,
right?
Maybe he wouldn't have done the Flintstones. I like the Flintstones, but maybe he would have done something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Uncle Beer says he did great in Fallout. You saw Fallout, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the video game. When I heard he was going to be in the show, I was like, this is like my favorite things all coming together. And he was great in that. I don't want to spoil anything, but I thought, I like that kind of Kyle when I see that kind of Kyle.
Yeah, let me show this one more time here, folks. But with this campaign we're doing right now for our films here, there I am with Kyle, and I showed him the poster for Queen of Hearts, and he was just like, "Wow, you made a film about Annie and Caroline." Now, keep in mind, the two women on that poster are my actresses, not Brenda Mathers and Heather Graham. But he knew exactly who the two were, and the way this thing was set up, you could talk to him for about 10 minutes or so. So he was asking me questions. How did we do this? And all that. And he's like, where can I find it? Now, I have no idea if he ever watched it or not. But the point is that was nice of him to say that. I told him I was thinking about doing a continuation. And I said, if I can get the support, it would be great to do. And he said, you want to take a picture with the poster? Because that'll get you support. So like, yes, I probably would have asked him to take a picture with the poster anyway, but it was his idea. And you know what? That's awesome. Right? I mean, I just think that he's
great.
I know you had met him before.
Yeah. And
I've met a lot of celebrities before going to conventions, blah, blah, blah. But like, you never know. You never know if you're going to catch someone on an off day. You never know if, they always tell you don't meet your heroes. To say he's an A+ class act is an understatement. Like, the guy generally cares. And he may not remember you 20 minutes from now because he's meeting tons of other people.
Sure, yeah.
But for those minutes that you're talking with him, there's no one else in the world but you. And that is a rare thing.
What I said about him, he's exactly who you think he is. I mean, at least when he's with fans, he's like the Kyle MacLachlan. You kind of think in your head this, you have an idea of who these people are in your head, and he is that person to a degree. He was very sweet. He's he wants to talk to you. I felt like when I went to go. This was like the week of the return finale. I went to go buy his wine. He was in
Mhm.
Jersey City. And I talked to him for a little bit. He was very kind. You know, he was like, he signed my Funko Pop too. He asked me some questions. He kind of knew me from like the videos. I guess he saw my face on YouTube or something. And he was super nice. And he's like, you know, let me know what you think of the wine. You know, come get some more if you ever want some. And I remember that summer he was doing meet and greets all the time.
And now
for the
he's
wine.
doing the fan conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And also if you go up to Snoqualmie, North Bend, because he's doing, you know, a lot of meet and greets up there. His winery is in Walla Walla,
Right.
and he's you know, I was talking to some of his people from his company there, and I said, yeah, you know, I'm thinking about going over there for a little bit. And he goes, oh, well, then you'll be meeting Kyle all the time if you're over there in Walla Walla, because I guess he's always over there, and his family still lives up there. So I mean, what a perfect thing. Let's go see the family. Stop at the winery, you know, go up to Snoqualmie, North Bend. You never know. You will see Kyle like at the falls. I mean, come on. Would there be a better selfie picture than you and Kyle outside the Salish Lodge? I don't think so.
And I think he'd take it with you unless, you know, he was with his family or something.
Yeah.
He'd probably be happy to.
But I'm just saying, like, they always tell you don't meet your heroes, but occasionally it works out.
Yeah, he was great. Now, if it was David Lynch, I think I don't know. I think that would be the one that would make me nervous. I'm usually not nervous around celebrities, but I feel like Lynch would make me nervous. I don't know.
Well, because the question is like, what are you going to say?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
What, you know? Yeah, I mean, you'd have to go up and like do something different, like show up with like a Woody Woodpecker doll or something like that, and like have him autograph that, or it's just something random, you know. But
I actually had a Woody Woodpecker piggy bank that I sold. Should have kept it.
You know who's starting to make the rounds though on the fan conventions is Heather Graham, and that makes me excited because now that Kyle signed the Queen of Hearts poster, I just need Heather Graham and probably Cheryl Lee, and that's my trifecta for that poster. But Kyle just being on that poster is enough for me right now. But Heather Graham would be fantastic. She now signs things I'm fine, which is hilarious.
Really, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know if she has any idea what's that from, but because there's that YouTube video of them asking her about her character, and she goes, yeah, wasn't I in some like weird room? It's like, I would think you would remember that considering you were in the show and the movie, but okay, you know. But she's done a million.
She was so young when she did it too.
Yeah, but anyway,
I'm fine.
That would be amazing for Heather Graham to like do a commentary with me over Queen of Hearts. That would
put on a little lapel mic, ask her a couple questions when you meet her.
Exactly. I want to show you some clips. Would you like to comment?
Yeah.
But I will say this: I have shown both Cheryl Lee and Kyle MacLachlan stills from the ending of Queen of Hearts. And both of them have said to me, oh my God, that looks exactly like us. Presumably because the actress playing Laura / Carrie looks identical.
Yeah, and with the jacket and the hair, like, and the expression, spot on.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So check out Queen of Hearts if you haven't already. Joey, we'll be on here for about 5-6 minutes. If you guys have any more comments or questions, throw them out there. Make sure to go over to Joey's YouTube channel, because now that there's David Lynch news, he might actually post some videos.
Not just vinyl unwrapping videos.
And check out his Instagram, where he's far more popular on there. And don't you have more subs on Instagram?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
And then of course join his Twin Peaks Universe Facebook group, which is, like I said, closing in on 40,000. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Grows every day.
Oh, let me just have some fun here. I mean this in all good fun, but I want to do whole shows where where this is my name, and
that is a very inside joke. That is a very inside joke.
I don't know if you know this or not, but like I contemplated going to the real Twin Peaks Festival with a shirt that just said that, a white shirt with just block letters with that name on my chest, and just walk around town like that.
See if somebody gets it.
All right. Anyway, but yeah, that's my in joke for the day. If you inhabit the Twin Peaks universe channel or page on Facebook, you'll understand that real quick.
Yeah, that was a bit of a point of contention a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, how can it not be? It's kind of interesting in a very peculiar way. All right, let's see. Arby says, "Oh, Arby's here. Hello. Miss your Twin Peaks videos. Well, we miss doing them. Thing is that there was nothing to report. So what are we going to do?
I know.
You know, I mean, we can't just be on like, you know, it's been 673 days since David Lynch has made a weather report video. You know,
I mean, it's wild because Cameron and I have known each other 7 years now, which is crazy to think about.
And we've never met in person.
No. Hopefully next Twin Peaks Fest.
Or something of that matter. Yeah.
Something, yeah.
Frank says meeting Michael Horse was spiritual, to say the least. I can imagine.
I met Michael Horse.
When?
Last summer.
Oh, that's right.
I met Michael Horse, Harry, and
oh, there's that big thing happening over in Atlantic City coming up.
Yeah, the same guys. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I'm like, I met them last summer. I don't need to go. Atlantic City is like a 3-hour drive from here.
Did I ever tell you my Michael Horse story?
No.
So there was a website that was when season 3 got announced. I was in touch with them and they said, "Do you want to do some interviews with some of the Twin Peaks actors?" And I said, "Duh, yeah, hook me up." So that's how I got to interview Catherine Coulson and Ian Buchanan, because there hadn't been a cast list. Nobody knew who was going to be involved yet, but they were just getting in touch with all these actors from the show and they wanted some interviews. So they gave me Michael Horse's number and they said, he's expecting you to call him, just arrange an interview and whatever. So that morning I did an interview with Piper Laurie. It was amazing. She said, "Kid, you got 15 minutes." And our interview went 90 minutes. So she obviously liked me. Yeah. Lovely, lovely woman. Did you know, if you listen to the interview, you would know.
I haven't listened to it in a long time, yeah.
But anyway, but she directed 2 movies. But because she self-financed them, she didn't think they came out good enough, and she kept them in her house. She never released them. But she directed 2 films.
Somebody should figure out how to get those out.
If I had kept in touch with her, I probably would have asked her to do a cameo in Queen of Hearts, just because there is that moment where Catherine's talking to Harry about how she got lost in the woods and she felt like she was in safe hands. And, she talks about how the White Lodge insinuates that the White Lodge kind of helped protect her a little bit. I thought that would be kind of a cool little nugget in there to sprinkle in there. It didn't need it, but I thought that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, so anyway, I interviewed Piper Laurie that morning, and so they said, "Okay, well, we have Michael Horse. He wants to schedule an interview with you." And I said, "Fantastic." So I called Michael Horse and I said, "Yes, I'm here. I would like to schedule an interview with you." And he goes, "I'm free now." Keep in mind, I had no questions prepared because I was just calling to set up the interview. And he goes, "I'm here now." And luckily, I can think on my feet, and talk to him. But my goodness, he just put me right on the spot. I was like, "Oh, damn. All right, well, here we go, Michael Horse." So I called back up the website and they said, "Did you schedule it?" And I said, "Well, here it is.
Done.
It's done."
Done.
So, all right. So Nightshade Holloway's here says, "I actually miss his weather reports and numbers of the day videos. They were like comfort content to me, but I know life moves on." Yeah, I think that obviously I don't know, but I think once Angelo Badalamenti passed on, it felt like he needed a break. I get it. I needed a break from all the people dying,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know them, right? So John Doe says, why wouldn't Netflix invest in a Lynch project? Wouldn't it heighten their artistic credibility? Here's the thing. I think if it were 2019, 2020, they're throwing 100 million at them like they did with Martin Scorsese. But all of those projects, credibility or not, kind of blew up in their face. They started losing subscribers when they said you couldn't share passwords, right? Then people started leaving. So I think that if they had been talking to Netflix earlier and there had been no pandemic, we would already have Unrecorded Night. Absolutely.
Yes. And Sabrina basically said as much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I took it. It was ready to go. Pretty much they had the scripts done, and then the pandemic hit, everything got shut down, and other projects
they were very
priority.
They were very well cast. They were crewed up. I don't know. It sounds like they were within weeks about when starting. So I don't think that Netflix is just like, I don't want to work with David Lynch. I think they wanted to work with David Lynch. And then something happened and they didn't feel like moving forward with it after the pandemic. Maybe this animation thing, maybe they're looking at it going, I don't know if yes, it's got the name, but you know how things just disappear on Netflix. They don't really advertise. It just kind of shows up in your new feed, and
I could see Netflix pushing back for animation that's not for kids. I know they invest in stuff that's kind of high end, like adult animation, but I think this might even be over the casual audience's head.
But they do have issues too in terms of after a series of TV hits the third season, they like to cancel things. And their argument to that, I don't agree with it, but their argument to that is, well, a returning show isn't going to bring in new viewers. New shows will. So my thing is that why don't you just sign up the series for 3-season arcs and then so they know, they don't think the only one they didn't was Stranger Things, right?
Stranger Things. Yeah. But I mean,
and
time has shown that logic was also flawed because their viewer numbers plummeted anyway in the last couple months. Now that they're bundling with everybody else, we're basically going to go back to cable in the next couple of years because none of these streamers have turned a real good profit in the last couple of years. I mean, they started riding off the laurels of theaters being shut down, but now theaters and streamers aren't making money. Mm-hmm. So it's a bigger question, but Netflix is being very choosy as well as all the other streamers. Nothing is really hitting for them as well as the other streamers too. There's like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 every once in a while.
I think that there is an actor, Dexter Fletcher. He's now director now, but I knew him as an actor. He was in this movie called The Rachel Papers when I was a kid. But anyway, he said that he went in for a meeting at Netflix and he was directing some movie and he told them like what the opening scene was going to be, right? Mm-hmm. And they said, you got to change that. And he goes, why? And he goes, because the algorithm will that within 30 seconds people will switch if that's the opening shot. So now people are making things to keep the algorithm happy as opposed to you just making things and hoping you keep their attention. That's where we are with that.
I also heard that things are being shot to make for easier clip outs for vertical formats like TikTok.
No, you are right. So they're framing everything dead center so that they can cut off the sides and have it be TikTok friendly.
Yep. So artistic credibility, I'd like to say that they care about that, but it's, algorithm comes first. Like it is what it is now. That's why I thought the self-funding thing when Sabrina brought that up was so interesting because I think going forward, if you want to see kind of artistic movies, I think it's going to go more and more to people funding artists directly, almost like the old school days, like in France, where people used to pay artists directly to get things made. Like we might just have to go back to that because the algorithms are not going to like a David Lynch.
Like you can literally like put in $10,000 to David Lynch to make you a 15-minute short film just for you.
Yeah. More or less. I mean, that's kind of what Patreon is in a sense.
That's another thing. Not that they would do this, but can you imagine if David Lynch set up a Patreon? I mean, he'd probably be pulling in $1 million a month, and that's probably on the conservative side.
I mean, do the weather reports there and stuff. Like, just have stuff constantly going. And he could, pay for whatever projects he wants. He could get dreamy. He doesn't have to worry about time constraints and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it makes sense for somebody like him with the kind of reach he does, but I don't know. I just think we're in a weird time right now where I don't
You know what I think should happen? Sabrina should hire us to be his social media managers.
Hey, I've been working in marketing for a decade now. I could do it. Could definitely do it.
You know, push Lynch to the next level.
I mean, they're pretty good at it as it is. They know how to roll things out, so they definitely don't need help. But if they're ever looking,
I will push back just slightly and say I think they roll things out just a little bit too slowly for my taste. Because it almost seems like season 3 in a way. It's like hold back, and then there was an episode of just exposition drop, and that's kind of like what they do. They hold back, and then in one day, Topol Forum,
boom.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
Born to be Rad is here. Hello, it's so great to see you. I watch your videos all the time. Do you ever watch Born to be Rad? This guy.
No, I don't think I've seen him.
You got to check out his YouTube channel. He is awesome. He hooks up a lot with Dead Pit. They do a lot of physical media channel. He's big into like 80s stuff. He's really big. Lost Boys. So they're going to be doing the Lost Boys because I live right next to the boardwalk where they did that movie, and they're going to be doing Lost Boys on the beach in a few weeks here.
Nice.
And I know. I said to my wife, I said, should we take Mr. C? She can't watch the Lost Boys. I said nobody on the beach is watching the Lost Boys. It's about the community atmosphere being there at the boardwalk, and it's on the screen. Nobody's saying like, shh, Jason Patrick's talking. You know.
I just subscribed.
Oh, absolutely. He's got a great YouTube channel. Oh, my goodness. I'm so envious of him. I'm going to just take a second here and let's prop up Born to be Rad for a second. Because there's a lot of YouTube channels. You're kind of like one of them in a way, but you don't really take advantage of it because you said your internet is not very good sometimes. No. But so he does, he's East Coast, right? I'm West Coast. So by the time he puts his kid to bed and he's ready to rock and roll, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, it's 7 o'clock where I am. Right. So like he's got the
same issue we have.
No, but he's got the late night people on the East Coast, and then he's got the West Coast, right? And then we're still kind of we're relaxing from the day. It's the best of both worlds. That's why when him and Dead Pit get together and they do like these like Vinegar Syndrome sales videos, you're hitting everybody at once, right? Now, when I want to go live at 10 o'clock at night, guess who shows up? 4 people, because nobody's awake on the East Coast and everybody's asleep on the West Coast.
Yes.
So sometimes I really envy you guys on the East Coast because you guys can, at the right moment, you got a sweet spot and you're hitting everybody, you know? So, but yeah, Born to be Rad, you're awesome. And if you're ever out in California, we got to go to the boardwalk. I got to show you where all these things. I know you already have it, but like they, you know, the comic book shop, you know, they sell like the vampires comic book from the movie and so. You ever seen the Lost Boys? If you say no, I'm gonna be very upset with you, Joey.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Oh my goodness,
it's not one I go back to a lot.
Can't believe I live stream with you. You got to see the Lost Boys, man. It's like
I've seen it. I just haven't seen it in a long time.
All right, well, you got to check that out. Yeah, you do. And I watch your videos all the time, and I kick myself for living on the West Coast. And you know what else I kick myself about the West Coast about? We don't have basements out here. Everybody else has basements on the East Coast. So like everybody has like, you got to watch. Okay, everybody does like movie room tours. Born to be Rad like took it to the next level. His movie room tour is so awesome. It's so well edited, and I'm sitting there just like going, look, half my movie room is now my kid's bedroom. And, you know, it's like, I don't have a basement.
I remember when that room was all movie.
It still is. It's all, the other rooms are now housing everything else. And I get very upset when I watch people with these amazing basement movie room tours.
I watch them too, yeah.
And I'm just like, what am I doing out here in California? I'm paying 5 times more than everybody else, and I don't have a basement.
Hey, Christian Harloff from The Big Thing is moving back to New York too.
Yeah, well, that's because he's been doing stand-up out there, so you know, saves money and time.
And it's still it's a little cheaper out here still.
Yeah. So you guys are awesome on the East Coast. You know, Stanley Kubrick, when he lived in England, and this segues a little bit into David Lynch because he loved David Lynch. But he said that he loved being in England because he could do his whole day of like movie prep and everything all day long, and America hadn't even gotten up yet.
You have to worry about people calling him and.
Yes, exactly. Nightshade says, I saw The Lost Boys opening week in '87. Still remember it pretty vividly. And they did a spoof of The Lost Boys actually in the newest South Park movie they just dropped, the Cure for Obesity or whatever it was. Where Cartman tries to get slim. And they do a spoof of Lost Boys and Mad Max Fury Road in that episode.
Oh, I haven't watched South Park in years.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, obviously we can't really. I mean, we've been spending an hour predicting what David Lynch is doing, but obviously we don't know. We'll find out on June 5.
June 5.
And that's pretty cool. Well, I'm happy there's an announcement of something, right? It's not just you and me speculating going, I think that little thing they dropped might insinuate that there could be an announcement coming on,
we're pulling news out of thin air.
As like you said, though, we weren't entirely wrong.
No, we weren't.
But Sabrina did say on the Topa Forum, there's another plug for you guys, that unless it comes from me or David, don't assume. So this is from
my philosophy now. Yeah.
This is from David Lynch himself. There is some news dropping on June 5. You're probably right. I'm going to just say final thing for me. I say you're probably right. There's probably an album drop, a music video that drops too, so you can see it. But I'm gonna be hopeful and say that's not the only thing. I think they're gonna announce a couple things because one thing that Sabrina did say is they were looking to redo the whole, not Graceland per se, but something like that.
Right.
So they could be announcing another, because they never got to do that Twin Peaks.
I mean, I would love to go to that if they bring that back.
Bring it back. They never did it one time yet.
Actually do it, yes.
Well, wherever they do it, whatever they do, there better be all you can eat spaghetti. That's all I can say. Because to
another inside joke. Well, not inside, but
no, yeah. It's not because remember they said that for the Graceland event, and the whole reason why, and they never said why, is because in the scene in I think it's in episode 2 or part 2, whatever, of season 3. There's a guy in the diner and he's just eating spaghetti, and they said that's your third plate of spaghetti. When Mr. C's there with Ray and Daria. So I think that's where they came up with the concept of all you can eat spaghetti.
That's so funny.
Now I'm all for all you can eat spaghetti, but only if we can have all you can eat pasta sauce and like meatballs. I cannot eat noodles plain.
Just straight spaghetti. Yeah, just dry spaghetti.
I'll tell you this though. One time when I was in high school, a friend of mine, they were having a party and he got really, really drunk, but he had a plate of spaghetti like earlier that day. And he ran out onto his back porch and threw up. But I saw it through the window. It was like something out of like The Thing. All of a sudden, all these noodles shot out of his mouth, wiggled in the wind, and then shot back into his mouth.
Oh God!
I thought I was like in the middle of The Hidden or something. There's a Kyle reference for you. I was horrified. I got out of there real quick because I thought somebody's head was going to detach and walk around.
I would have run away too. Yeah, no kidding. I've seen one too many movies.
See, folks, this is what happens when you guys don't put comments and questions in there. We start talking about random things. We keep trying to tie it back in, but we're getting goofier and goofier. It got to the point once in 2017 when Joey dressed up as an alien and I got a leg cramp and fell over.
Yeah, that was a tough day.
That is still on the YouTube channel.
That was fun, but it was a long day.
It was a long day. We did 18 hours. We were going for 24. My wife was like, "You're nuts. You better not do 24 hours." We got 18. We got close enough.
We did pretty good. We had a lot of good guests too.
We
Never
did.
forgot that.
It was amazing. It was an amazing time. So, all right. Well, let's wrap this up. June 5. We'll do something on our channel.
Back, yeah.
Whether we're together or separately. Subscribe to both of us. We'll talk about whatever it is David Lynch is going to bring up. It better be good, David. I'm telling you, it better be good. I'm not, but you know what? I would be over the moon if he said we are going to release a David Lynch streaming channel. There is enough material in his oeuvre that you could go 24 hours of material. There are so many interviews he's done, so many short films, so many, you know what I mean? I mean, he could put his 6 men getting sick on a loop for like 6 hours straight. And people would watch it.
I mean, I could see him like collaborating with like Criterion. They have their channel doing some kind of, they help him set up his, like do some kind of combo thing. I don't know.
Oh, if you got the Criterion channel for an extra, $5, you get the David Lynch channel.
Something like that, just to like bring him in, and then maybe funnel that into funds for his next project.
Yeah, I do think that if David Lynch set up a Patreon, it would go through the roof. I think if you set up a Kickstarter and Indiegogo, it would go through the roof. I think a streaming channel would. Sabrina, call us. We have so many ideas. We can make you rich beyond your wildest dreams, David.
I always wonder how the merch is doing on Amazon. I have one of the shirts, like the official store on Amazon.
I don't know.
Curious.
I wonder how David Lynch's coffee sells.
I've had it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sell. What do you think sells more, David Lynch's coffee or the Tweeds coffee? I see more things for the Tweeds coffee than I do the David Lynch coffee.
I think because I think the David Lynch coffee is limited release. He only puts it out like once a year or something. So I haven't been able to get it in like a year or two.
Oh wow!
I know they had a thing with Whole Foods. My sister works at Whole Foods. She said they had like an exclusive deal with his coffee.
Oh wow!
So I don't know if that's still in. Yeah, it's still in the works, or they still have that deal. But I think he just puts it out through them when it actually does come out.
Well, there you go.
Because I tried to get the David Lynch standee that they had at Whole Foods. I asked her if I could get it, and she said no. So
what do you want with a David Lynch standee? What would you?
I don't know. Just put it back right here when I do the videos. He could just watch us. Just him in the coffee shelf, whatever.
I'll show you guys this. I have my Mulholland Drive. Oops. Not American Pie, of course. Mulholland Drive and Straight Story posters.
Ooh, I need to get a Mulholland Drive poster.
That's an original from when it played in the theater. Yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah, and there's my kid's Five Nights at Freddy poster.
Some diversity there.
He loves it. He loves anything with monsters. So, we got a couple more comments, and we'll go. Nerny says Canadians have basements too. There's that one moment in Zodiac where Jake Gyllenhaal goes down into the basement of Roger Rabbit, and remember he's like all freaked out because he's like, Californians aren't supposed to have basements. And he's like, well, I do.
I have to rewatch that one too.
Brett has a great idea here. Let's get David Lynch in the Criterion closet.
Yes, I'll take it.
I am going to choose Blue Velvet. It's a very special movie that I made many moons ago.
That Kale MacLachlan, what a fella.
Yeah, exactly. This was back in the days when I was dating Isabella.
He would pick Boonwell. He would pick Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. He's gonna pick up Wages of Fear. When's Criterion gonna announce Wild at Heart unedited?
I don't know. I think we're probably gonna get Straight Story before Wild at Heart.
Frank says they should sell a Mr. Strawberry plushie. That'd be. Oh my goodness! You could cuddle up with the evolution of the arm.
Yeah. Non-existent.
Yeah, but they can't do that because then some pervert will get really excited when the dog goes.
Yeah, no kidding. I could already hear them ramping up for that.
Nightshade.
I used to have the finger puppet. I don't know where it went.
Nightshade, yes, they did do 2 different posters. One with Lara Elena Harian and one with Naomi Watts. You are correct, Amundo.
Me.
But I saw a comment today. I don't know if it's true or not, but David Lynch said about Naomi Watts. Any actress that sits in King Kong's hands is a movie star for life.
I've heard that too.
I could not agree more.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
She is so spectacular in King Kong. I mean, she's great in a lot
I
of
love
stuff,
that movie. Yeah.
but like she grounds. I mean, that movie's great. Her performance grounds that whole movie, right? You listen, if I was King Kong, I'd be obsessed with Naomi Watts too. So let's be honest here.
I mean, yeah.
She looks stunning in that scene when like he's like
I didn't watch that movie for King Kong.
No, but when he's trashing New York and he turns around and sees her walking towards him in the street, stunning.
The way they lit her and
oh
stuff
my
like
god!
That. It's like,
I mean, it's like
movie star, yeah.
Like Peter Jackson, like he loved her. You know what I mean? You can totally nobody lights your movie star like that if you don't, or if you're not just like
angel lighting. That's that's what that was. Angel on Earth lighting.
Exactly. All right, so everybody, make sure to go over to Joey's YouTube channel, check him out over there, follow him on Twitter and Instagram as well as for us. Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email us anytime. And I do want to say this one more time. I'm sorry if I'm driving you crazy, but I'm serious. It's been 24 hours since we've had a donation. I really want to make Black Rose, so I'm going to keep hounding you guys. Please throw in $1 or $2 or more. We still got a long ways to go. We got 48 days left of this campaign, but it's going to be amazing. If you saw Queen of Hearts, you can see what I can do with 20,000. Imagine if I had like a bigger budget. And then Josh is going to make his Teresa Banks movie, and we're going to be doing 2 films for the price of 1. So this would mean a lot to me. I sound like Holly Hunter in broadcast news. Really a lot. Appreciate it.
Really a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So please give it a look-see, and please support it. We'd really appreciate it. So
yeah, all you have to do is you have to put in $1 and get 250,000 of your closest friends to also put in $1.
Well, no, there's more
than
no. There's we don't need 250,000 people. Here's the best part though about this campaign though. If we don't make the goal, which is sad for me, it automatically gets sent back to you. So you do get an automatic refund. This is not one of those campaigns where what we raise we keep, because I can't make the movie for 13,000. But we can make it for the goal that we set. But if we don't hit it, it gets just completely I want to say refurbished, but it's not the right word. What's the word? Refunded. Refurbished, refunded. So it just gets shot right back into your bank account, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize I gave that much money away. So,
and then you can blow it all on gas this summer.
There you go. So anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. We've had about 75 people in here. I can't believe what that feels like. It's gives me a rush of endorphins because it feels like the heyday.
I know.
You know,
maybe we're getting back. Who knows?
I'm telling you, it's a little discouraging. I don't know if it is for you. I'm gonna take a minute here and just, since we have an audience here, I'm gonna take a minute here. It gets a little discouraging when you come on and do a live stream and you have 4 people. And I've seen some of yours where like, you know, where you're hitting around that same number. And it's like, I don't know, you know, I mean, here's the thing. If we were always a YouTube channel that was making like 5-10 people watching us live, that's one thing. But Joey and I both know what it's like to have like 500 people in our chat. And so we know the difference. And so that's why it's like, well, you know, it's just kind of, so that's why I'm happy when David Lynch dropped this news. I was like, oh, thank God, maybe we can do a live stream and get some people in here again.
I used to feel that way, but then I also like looked at the numbers and I realized it's such an international audience,
right?
That there's like no way to get everybody at the same time in the same place. It's like so hard unless something big is happening like today. And like, well, it's so hard to get everybody on the same page, especially in this community.
There's a wonderful YouTuber named Impression Blend. I don't know if you know her or not. She does these great videos, film reviews, book reviews, and everything. And she made a comment the other day about that it's getting harder and harder for her videos to get views, because she's very positive about stuff. And so because she doesn't trash movies, right? Her videos aren't being bolstered. But then I sent you what Dead Meat posted the other day. Dead Meat's a YouTube channel that talks about horror films. They said that they're big enough to have a company, right? And they had a meeting, and they realized that any film they talk about that's 5 years old will not be suggested by YouTube, even with, I don't know how much they have. Let's just say they have 1 million subscribers. It won't even push it out to 1 million subscribers.
No.
So and now this Twin Peaks season 3 is 7 years old. So us doing Twin Peaks videos, even though they're it's what the algorithm likes on our YouTube, we've now tapped over that line, right? So David Lynch coming out with something new. Thank you. Thank you.
Grace us Lynch YouTubers.
Yes, exactly. So, we have a few more comments here. Let's see. I agree, Nerny. She says, let's hope Mr. Jackpots contributes.
Hello.
Where are we in terms of donations? 13,452. We have a long ways to go, folks. A long ways to go. But, it's just a numbers thing, Joey. Because if you just kind of take the amount of people that we both reach in a given month and you divide it by, for instance, my page on Twin Peaks Worldwide, I only need people to give $2.
$2, yeah.
and I would hit the total within a day. So anyway, hello, Jamie. Great to see you.
Hey, Jamie.
I love it when everyone comes back to the yard when there's things happening. Nothing that we know of, Mandela Man. But David Lynch is announcing something on June 5.
June 5.
So
next Wednesday.
All right. So make sure you subscribe to us, give this video a thumbs up, and all that great stuff. And it's been wonderful having you here. Thank you so much, Joey. I really appreciate it. I did not want to do this alone. And it's great to feel like the old days again.
Yes.
So
for sure.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.